Buchanan, New York is part of a band of communities that have grown over the years. That growth is a matter of concern because it has happened around the Indian Point nuclear power plant. The population within 10 miles has increased 32% since 1980, according to an Associated Press analysis. The local roads are still mostly two-lane and busy even on an average day. In an emergency, critics believe the roads could easily become clogged.
That people will know that there may be a radiation release and that large numbers of the population will self-evacuate. They will not wait for the public officials to tell them to leave. They'll take it upon themselves to leave.
The first nuclear plants were generally built in sparsely populated areas. That helped lessen potential radiation exposure. But the population has been growing in these once relatively remote places. The AP's independent analysis finds that from 1980 to 2010, the number of people living within a 10-mile evacuation zone of a nuclear power plant ballooned by 62% on average. Attention has been brought to evacuation times recently due to a spate of nuclear plant license renewals. Indian Point's number 2 reactor is 36 years old. A license renewal would allow it to operate another 20 years. Opponents of renewals say it is not proven that plants can operate another 2 decades safely. Plant managers respond their facilities may look old, but are essentially new because as parts wear out, they are replaced.
You know, when your car needs new tires and it's got 30,000 miles, 40,000 miles on it, you don't get rid of your car. You buy new tires. You know, if we have a pipe that we think is going to wear out, and with our predictive tools, we'll change it. We'll fix it. We'll repair it.
Paul Blanche worked in the nuclear industry before he became a whistleblower. He opposes an Indian Point license renewal because, he believes, not all components of the facility can be easily swapped or tested. What also troubles him is what lies just 25 miles to the south.
But the location of Indian Point in a high population zone such as New York City is absolutely, totally unacceptable, even if the regulations were enforced.
In Buchanan and other towns near Indian Point, where it seems long waits within a radioactive danger zone would be likely, local officials have established evacuation shuttle routes. The hope is fewer people will clog roads by taking to their cars to evacuate and instead wait for volunteer-driven buses.
And then they send buses or ambulances, whatever it is that may be, they will send it to those places to theoretically to pick up those people. Now we've seen in disasters in the past where that didn't work so well.
Federal officials have floated their own emergency plan. Stay put. The NRC's Gregory Yatsko advised people in certain accident scenarios to hunker down in their homes. A 2007 advisory report to the NRC and FEMA seems to contradict Yatsko. It warns some contamination and radiation will enter most shelters. Perhaps sending a mixed message, it went on to advise if quick evacuation was possible, fleeing the area is always the most appropriate recommendation. Indian Point is one of 24 nuclear plants within 50 miles of some of the East Coast's largest cities. Plant officials say more hearings will be held this year to determine relicensing. Warren Levinson, The Associated Press.